everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Omnichannel Marketer. This is your host, Kate Stevens. Today we have Anouck Gotlib, CEO of Belgian Boys. Hi, Anouck.
Hi, Kate. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. So anyway, why don't we kick things off? Would love to know a little bit more about your personal background and then, a little bit more about Belgian Boys.
Definitely. As you can hear, I have an accent. I'm not from the US. I was born in Belgium, in Antwerp, one of the major cities in Antwerp, though it's quite small compared to US cities. And yeah, I grew up in Antwerp. I saw entrepreneurship at home. My parents were entrepreneurs in the garment industry. I actually studied fashion design
Hmm.
in college, so I have a creative background. And then I came for an internship in New York. And on that plane, I met a guy, because that's always how a story starts, right? I met a guy, and that was Greg, who is the founder of Belgian Boys and my husband. And that's really how it started.
And so when did you start the brand? And then so when you met your husband, had he already started the brand? Like when did you come into Belgian Boys?
Yeah, he hadn't started the brand yet. We were dating. Really, his idea was there. I want to say he went to college in the US. He's also from Belgium, and when he was in his college dorm, the American friends, every time he was just schlepping back waffles and cookies for him to enjoy, were like, "Oh my God, where can I buy this? This is like the most amazing thing I ever tried." And they couldn't find it there. And he's like, "Well, maybe this is something I should like investigate and pursue after college." And that's really when he was there with the idea. We were dating. I was working on Fashion Avenue and 42nd Street in New York. And really at night, helping Greg to just conceptualize and visualize this idea of Belgian boys. With my background, I was always saying, okay, I love this idea, but we got to make clothes for the product. It's got to look good because the fact that it tastes good won't won't get it sold. People
Mm-hmm.
won't know the story with just the taste, right? Like, you got to have them pick it up off a shelf. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the origin story of how we got started. That was now 8 years ago.
And I'd love to talk a little bit more about your kind of design and creative background and how you bring that, visual presence to Belgian Boys because you and I met in person for the first time at Expo West. And, I can say that the visual display of your booths, of all of your team members, it was beautiful. It was, the pinks and that visual display I know also comes through in your product as you think about, getting picked up off shelf. So can you talk about your background and how you weave that into your product and thinking about the that eye-catching nature of the product.
Definitely. I think we look at it holistically, right? We are creating an experience. We are building a brand. And you bring up the example of Expo West. I remember, you used to go to Expo West and it's like you see these booths that's from a legacy brands, amazing brands also, but every year it's the same thing. And life evolves, brand evolves. You gotta keep it relevant, just like you keep it relevant for your customers with promotions, campaigns, etc. Why were people in the industry not doing it at Expo
Mm-hmm.
West, right? Buyers coming back and coming back. It's got to look fresh. Belgian Boys of 2022 is not, or 2023 is not Belgian Boys of 2019. And you need to keep showing as you scale, as you grow. We wanted people to come to our booth to experience our mission. Our mission, our reason why we exist is to spark moments of happiness. That's our why. That's why I wake up every morning and come to work because I want to spark. I want people to have smiles when they have Belgian boys. And that's really how it comes to life, the visual. It's not only our mission statement, you have to show it. And I want to say this. it was just vibes and happy. And I think you can't fake it either, right?
Hmm. So, talk to me about the state of Belgian boys, whether that's, where do you sell? Like, what does that look like? What's the scale? And then I'd love to talk about, dive a little bit deeper into, how you're, bringing that why holistically across all of your channels. The title of this podcast is the Omni-Channel Marketer. And the reason that I, wanted to have you on is that, I think you've done an incredible job of thinking about your retail presence, your website, your social channels, and then actually, also leveraging different, trending topics on social to, bring that to the retail environment. So I'd love to really dive into that, the pancake cereal craze and that drop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to kind of hear from your perspective how you think about that.
Yes, it's still like a pinch me moment. I mean, Belgian Boys is today in 7,000 retail stores, including Walmart, Target, Costco, Kroger since a month ago. And I think what we're doing in those stores is pretty exceptional. I'll, I'll, I'll walk a bit back, but when we started, we launched with crepes, pancakes, waffles, and showed that to buyers. And the reaction was, oh, I love the product. This is frozen breakfast. And I looked at Greg and I was like, what the hell is frozen breakfast? I had never heard of frozen breakfast coming from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe, in Belgium, where I grew up, those products are merchandise refrigerated. And if you think about it, that makes sense. Where do you go in the stores to buy breakfast items? You buy eggs, you buy milk, you buy
Mm-hmm.
yogurt, you buy orange juice. That's all refrigerated. So why is there another section in the store where you buy things to stock up on that you eat every single day?
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast is also the meal of the day that is every day the same. I don't say every single day, but you eat a variation of the same thing. It's not like lunch or dinner where we do Monday tacos, Tuesday pizza, Wednesday steak. No one eats Monday acai bowl, Tuesday granola,
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday waffles. That doesn't really happen. Breakfast is a habit-driven um, meal, and that's because that first hour of the day, especially for parents, which is our main audience, there are so many things you have to think about. You get dressed, you get the kids dressed, there's lunch boxes, you're missing homework, you're missing a backpack, a shoe, I don't know, a million things, right? What we have, what we eat, is not something we need to think about. It needs to be delicious, it needs to be quick and easy, and it needs to be okay with your ingredient standard,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially for moms, for parents, if you think about it, you don't control the day of your children. The one thing you control is that morning in the hour. And then you send them off to the school bus and they might get bullied. They might have the most amazing day, but that day might also suck.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have them leave with a smile, right? And breakfast is part of that. Our generation in America, and I'm not from here, but that's what I hear from everyone, grew up eating Eggo waffles and Pop Tarts.
Literally, Anouck, when you're talking about this, I'm like, oh, frozen. Yes, I grew up eating frozen waffles.
That's what most people in the US grew up eating.
Mm-hmm.
And we're updating that, we're upgrading that. Our generation of parents don't want to give their kids Eggo waffles and Pop Tarts. They want to give their kids Belgian boys. And we're the perfect solution for that. And so from that frozen breakfast moment, we were like, gotta go refrigerated. But buyers turned us down. They were like, no, this is a category. This is the US.
Hmm.
We went into that category and actually performed really well. But in our gut, we knew it was wrong. And so we went to Costco. We got a great rotation. That was in 2018, about 3 years into the business, and amazing data. We went back to those retailers, but still they were like, well, you're performing great in frozen. Why would I move you?
Hmm.
And we got a shot at Walmart in 60 stores. we were performing, I think, 300% above expectations. And that's when we knew we had something special. We took that data at Walmart, 65 stores. In 4 years, we grew that into close to 1,000 stores at Walmart. We then launched at Target. This last year, we launched at Walmart. We launched at Whole Foods. We launched at Meijer, Kroger. And what we're seeing now is not only Belgian Boys in the refrigerator, we're seeing retailers investing in this breakfast destination. So there's
Mm,
other brands next to us. There's Egg Bites, there's Kraken Eggs, there's potatoes, there's wraps, and really creating that new set in the dairy aisle that Belgian Boys is anchoring. And it's been a very, very exciting time for us. And yeah, this it's still, I want to say, quite surreal to think
mm-hmm.
that like 3 years ago, this industry was saying, who is this crazy company trying to do refrigerated for a product that's been merchandised forever in frozen, to last week having the CMA, which is the Category Management Association, publish a case study with Nielsen, which is a data provider in our industry, on how Belgian Boys is pioneering a new refrigerated breakfast category across the US. And that's when I'm like, wow, we've achieved a lot and we have not done anything yet.
Hmm.
I forgot the whole question you asked because I think I went on with this refrigerated breakfast. But
Well, it's important. It's important to understand like you're creating this new category because it's the right place for your customer to be shopping your product.
yeah, exactly.
And then, so, understanding retail is clearly your, number one distribution. Am I correct that you do not sell direct to consumer?
You're correct. I mean, we used to. Um, it was never a big portion of our business, but I want to say that in COVID, we were like FOMO, right? Like, what's going on here? First of all, we wanted to reach our customer. Our business model had changed overnight. We were heavy on food service, airlines, etc.
Hmm.
Pre-pandemic, and and we're like, wow, we need a DTC, we need agency, we need warehouse, and we jumped in. And if I look 2 years, 3 years later, it wasn't right for our product, or this industry was moving along. I think we've found a lot of success actually with digital penetration of retailers, of other websites. I think for consumer, especially with perishable goods like us, first of all, it's very hard to be profitable.
Yeah.
Um, and second of all, I do ask myself the question, and that's something we talked a lot on our team before we made the decision in Q1 of this year to shut down our DTC. Do consumers really have the time to shop on brands' websites for food when it's
Mm-hmm.
not gifts, right? When you are literally doing your weekly grocery shopping, which is what Belgian Boys is. We are an
Mm-hmm.
item that you are buying every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the frequency. I personally do not have the time to go and buy my milk on one website, my cookies on another website, my waffles, my produce. Like, you're not going on 20 different websites to do your weekly groceries. So I think consolidators, where you have one platform, go, you buy your weekly groceries, that works for us. But actually having our own, where people need to buy bundles of 100 something dollars for it to make sense. But then if you think about the consumer experience, yes, they have it delivered at the door, which is nice, but the frustration of it left on the front porch when it's all melted. And then our product's quite large. You get 10 boxes of crepes or
Mm.
pancakes. Where the hell do you put them? There's no room in your fridge. So we really felt like it wasn't doing a justice to our brand and our experience, and decided to make that decision.
So how do you think are those aggregators? Is that like, online at Target, Amazon Marketplace? Is that, Walmart's Marketplace?
Correct, correct. It's supporting our retail partners, it's reaching a different audience, and we are a brand that does great on digital penetration, and that's something that all the retailers you just mentioned are looking to grow.
So tell me what you mean when you say you do well in digital penetration.
We get added to a basket that is larger than their average basket.
Hmm. Okay. And why do you think that is? Like, what about Belgian Boys? Like, why do you do well there?
Well, I mean, I think there was a bunch of reason, but with the highlight, if you look at our consumers' basket, and that was something that I've learned over the years. I always thought when we launched this brand that Belgian Boys consumer was someone that traveled to Amsterdam and wanted to be reminded of their experience and authentic and blah blah blah. A consumer doesn't know where Belgium is. They that's not the main reason why they buy Belgian Boys. They buy Belgian Boys because it's convenient, it's delicious, it has good ingredients, and it's better than other options on the market. And it's a millennial fun happy brand.
Hmm.
Now, when we looked at their basket, what we find is eggs, we find Nutella, strawberry, pretzel crisps, Tropicana orange juice, chicken, like chicken breast, and Lucky Charms. And I'm like, wait, what? So what that shows is that for an emerging brand, we are very mainstream.
Mm,
There's no, I want to say, kale chips and niche items in our basket. We are your everyday
mm.
basket. And Belgian Boys brings growth to that everyday basket.
Yep, that makes
We,
complete sense.
and we bring a different customer into those stores. You asked about pancake cereal. I think that's where
Yes.
retailers like to partner with us, um, and how we take those other channels that you talked about, or where we take influence to launch an R&D. In the pandemic, people had extra time and baked sourdoughs and made tiny, tiny, tiny pancakes with a ladle because they had leftover batters. That trend went viral, 1.7 billion views. People made tiny, tiny pancakes and ate them in a bowl, just like cereal. And that was a very cool trend that was very time consuming. And so we looked at this and we're like, we can totally commercialize it. It also goes with our mission, right? Quick, easy, delicious. And so we did that and we partnered up with Target to bring that to the market in Q1 of this year. We brought Gen Z, we brought that younger audience to the stores. That's something that was exciting on their end as well. And I'm very proud of that campaign that we ran with our team because it was a very, very exciting brand moment for
Yeah.
boys.
I mean, just from the outside, it was genius. Like leveraging a, TikTok viral trend, bringing that, it was so on brand, and then having an, exclusive drop at Target, one of your partners. I think that it was just like a brilliant marketing moment. Like, do you plan to employ that strategy again in the future? And, how do you think about, the continued growth of your brand there?
Definitely, but not exactly the same, right? I think you always need to look for other things, right? And if you want to inspire, if you want to grow, if you want to delight your consumer, you need to take inspiration in places where it wasn't taken, right? Bringing a trend. Usually on TikTok, there were trends like feta cheese in this recipe, and feta cheese like was out of stock across the US, right? There
Mm-hmm.
was a trend which drove consumption. We took a trend and created a product. We did the opposite.
Hmm.
And this is what we challenge our team. This is what we talk a lot at Belgian Boys. How can we disrupt? How can we, and disrupt is overused, um, how can we connect with our consumer and elevate our brand? So you'll see more coming for sure.
Can't wait. One of the things that, I always ask about is, how do you bridge the relationship between your retail customers, your, online customers? It sounds like you're using these different brand moments to create those moments of connectivity.
Definitely. And I mean, we are very much parent oriented as a brand. And, we talk a lot about mom hack.
Mm,
As a mom of two kids, when I find something that helps me, that makes my kids smile, I tell every mom I know.
hmm
That happens a lot at
Yep.
Belgian Boys.
That makes complete sense. As a mom myself, I know that there is not a, stronger word of mouth community than new parents. So make tapping into that as your community, that makes complete sense to me. I love to ask our guests, what is something that you feel passionately about?
One of my biggest passion, I mean, I came from an industry that was very toxic. Fashion
Mm,
design, it was very, I loved what I did. I really, really loved what I did. And that was a bit taken away. I have a bad taste about that fashion industry because it was toxic, back, people talking behind your back. I wasn't happy going to the office at the end. And like even talking about it, I get like,
mm,
and when we started Belgian Boys and our mission is to spark happiness, literally, it's got to start on the inside. My biggest passion is to see our team grow, is to make sure that our team come in and are happy. It's about what we do at our company, our culture, our DNA. We actually care for each other. We trust each other. And I feel like we have an amazing team. And seeing them grow, seeing them develop, contributing to that growth and development, that's something I take a lot of pride and joy.
I love that. That's super meaningful and makes so much sense and something that I align with when building our team as well. Okay, quickly transitioning into our lightning round. So we're just going to go through some very quick questions before we wrap up. Favorite omni-channel brand?
I like Liquid Death right
Mm,
now. I think it's very, very cool what they're doing.
totally agree. Thing you wish you could change about our industry?
I think there's a lot in our industry that we are all like in this together against like the big, big, big boys, but there is still some, I think, in emerging brands of they copied, she copied, we copied this and that. And I
Mm,
feel like that's not the right fight. Tell your story, tell your ideas, share it with as many people as possible so that we grow these emerging brands, these better brands, um, because it's not the right fight.
I totally agree. Favorite podcast?
Simon Sinek, a bit of optimism.
I need to listen to that one.
Wow, the best.
Really? Okay, amazing. Favorite newsletter?
Oh, I'll give a shout out to Nate Rosen. He's amazing, and his podcast, his newsletter is a bit recent, but it's one I look out for every week now.
It's such an excellent aggregation of everything that's
Right?
going on in the industry. I completely agree.
And he's the best.
He's the best. He's such a close friend. Favorite social media channel?
LinkedIn for me, that's my thing.
Me too. Favorite book?
I have a lot. Radical Candor by Kim Scott is my number one.
I was just talking to someone about that book and how important I think it is in a management style. Completely agree with you.
It's so in at Belgian Boys, we talked a bit about my passion and culture. Every team member that joins Belgian Boys get a copy of Radical Candor. It's not mandatory reading, but if you want to be successful at this company, you will not thrive unless you read it because that's our lingo.
I think I might copy but I actually have shown that matrix to my team and be like, I care. And this is why you're getting feedback because I care about you.
Yeah.
So, completely agree. Favorite event you're planning on going to this year?
There's the EY conference. It's Strategic Growth Forum in November. I've been going for 2 years. and it's one I really look forward to.
Amazing. Anouck, where can people, our listeners, connect with you?
I'm on LinkedIn. That's the best place to reach me. Anouck Gotlib, and yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I so appreciate your time, and it was so great getting to hear your story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kate, for having me.
If you liked this podcast, follow me and the Bridge page on LinkedIn and Twitter for hot takes and tactical advice. If you really loved today's episode, we'd love a review on the podcasting platform of your choice, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thanks for listening.